What's up, guys? This is Prince Ia Ashaea Rakapata, the artist formerly known as Inky, and we're gonna be talking about the gods of America, pretty much like the gods of America, not the TV show. We're gonna be talking about the voodoo, Loa, and reptilians, pretty much, for lack of better words. This segment is called Smoking with the Gods. So this is where we come in, we smoke, and we're going to kick some knowledge about some magic, all types of stuff. So come on in, guys. I got my Santa de Muerte bong, you feel me? And we're going to go in. I'm going to play the music and let everybody come in here.
You did hold your knife to a nation. You must be king and your name must be Simba. I'm so high up in my head against me. He called me a heathen, said I'm lucky that I'm breathing. My bad, God, I'm just getting lifted. He said, oh shit, that's his lift, let me hit it. Voila, hopped in my low rider, picked up Allah, cuz we heard
come on in, y'all.
He been selling, he the weed man, ran away, said you shit, and he down the place.
You are smoking with the gods.
I do this. Don't you dare mess about to do this here, trade a motherfucker. Are you stupid? Man, are you foolish? Turn down, fuck this y'all doing. Shut the fuck up, little nigga. Keep it moving.
Come on in, y'all. Come on in.
Bitch, I'm high, but not high enough. Let's get more to roll, let's get lit. Hop up in our ship, fly to space and go. Rolling Ross, on our way to Mars. My house in the stars, au revoir. Let's get fucking high.
Come on in, share the video.
That's my ace cool bro. Smoking all day, we naps on the moon. Throwing lightning at your cat ass fools. Got Aphrodite in the Gina in a room. Take a palm rip, so my nigga barrel out the tube. We so high, think we're tripping out on shrooms. It's that good shit that make 100 plans on do shit, that shit. Take a whip and it's a ear music, I swear. I'm rolling, and all my weed is coated. The shit so strong.
Alright, y'all, come on in, share the video.
I feel so on. I hope I'm not fucking with the omens and my trees all gone. Fuck it, we gonna have to get some more than shit. Bitch, I'm high.
Alright, let's see if we can get some people in here.
Let's get more to roll. Let's get lit. Hop up in our shit. Fly to space and go. Rolling Ross on our way to Mars. My house in the stars on au revoir. Let's get fucking high. You smoking with the gods. Bitch, I'm high, but not high enough. Let's get more to roll. Let's get lit. Hop up in our shit. Fly to space and go. Rolling Ross on our way to Mars. My house in the stars on au revoir. Let's get fucking high. You smoking with the gods.
Get everybody in here. Try to get everybody in here. Peace to the gods and goddesses. Alright. So, this segment, as we was saying, what's up? This is Smoking with the Gods. Alright. We're going to be breaking down reptilian what I'm going to call Afro-reptilian culture. Okay, so what is Afro-reptilian culture? I guess that is melanated reptilian culture. A large number of things going on right now in today's society is reptilian bashing, because we as melanated people are that reptilian. They are scared of our melanated power and how we are able to tap into the first energy wave of current on this earth, which is the serpent. Okay, so that's what we're going to get into. I got my blunt lit today. Well, not lit yet. We're going to be talking about the Loa, the Gates of Guinea, the, Papa Legba, and a whole bunch of different other stuff. But first, I'm going to light my blunt so we can get started. Okay, first, okay, the Loa in voodoo are spirits of reptilian shapeshifters that are from inner earth. I understand that a lot of people have this concept of them, but if you look at how the Loa are depicted in all African cultures, the most sacred symbol is the serpent, the snake, the Kundalini energy, which we have. That what it is. So that energy that is sacred to earth, you know, like I was talking about on my page about raising up the Kundalini, the Djed pillar, the spine, and stuff like that. So yeah, when y'all talking about, you know, voodoo, the Loa, all these symbols, this is why Baron Samedi is seen depicting the snake. I'm gonna actually make a documentary on this. That's probably a little bit better. But they're talking about spirits from inner earth. Exactly. I'm about to move y'all comments so I can't really see it, so I can focus. So we're talking about spirits, reptilian spirits of inner earth. When they depict the American eagle holding the snake in there fighting, they're talking about the two species that were fighting over this land. We have the species of the eagle and the species of Lemuria or Mu. Okay, Mu and Lemuria and all this stuff, this was all reptilian land. The oldest actual structures on Earth are in America. There's pyramids. We've actually found them. Check out my boy Hashi. He actually has found pyramids of reptilian cultures in America. The origin of America is Amaru. Okay, and they start depicting and revealing this stuff now because they started talking about it in Dusk Till Dawn, where they was talking about the vampires, and it really wasn't vampires, it was reptilians. And when they would, when the lady, her freaking name was Amora, or whatever, she would stick her hand inside, or they would, whenever they would kill each other, they would stick their hand inside their stomach and rip out a snake, a black snake, the Kundalini. So, and then that person would die and then perish and phase out of reality. What this means is this is talking about inner earth societies. Okay? Your ancestors were the guardians to the gates of Guinea. Okay? In every culture they talk about the gates of Agartha, going inside what? The underworld. Where they say the spirits of what? The dead live. I think this motherfucker's not lit. Where the spirits or the Loa are, the gates to your ancestors. Like I said, they depict Khufu as having what? A snake's tongue. Okay? They depict Papa Legba or Ulegwa. If you guys look at the etymology of the words, you'll find that it even has its origins in pre-Sumeria. Ilu, which is also the god of what? The eagle, or in Lil. It's actually talking about the fight over the land of the two brothers. Okay? And what happened in America, which is depicted in the Bhagavad Gita and all that stuff like that in Sanskrit text, okay, it talks about the war of the gods. And this is why you can't really find, you could find the pyramids and stuff in America and stuff like that, but it's desolate. That's because there was a great war here that happened. That's why they hold so much information sacred and hidden from us about America. Well, hell, Damballa is depicted as a snake. Because I got asked, why do people fear the reptile? It's not, they want you to fear yourself. They want you to fear what is within you, the power is within you. Think about it. A snake is the most graceful animal on the planet. It's low to the earth. It symbolizes the first energy current. When the current of energy moves from point A to point B, it moves in a what? A wave, a helix, or spiral, just like your DNA. Just like the stars in Sirius show you the light spirals within your DNA, the two serpents. That's the same symbol as Damballa, or Damballa's wife Adawidu. Look at our culture. Look at their culture. You'll see we worship the serpent. We were the serpent. We are the serpent. So when they show you in America, right, while all our people, such as, I guess we could put Nipsey Hussle in this too, but he was more Lyran DNA. I talked about that. They're showing you why they're genetically harvesting melanin for the sun cycle. For we have two suns in the sky. Now, the two suns in the sky, people ask me this often, is Nibiru. Nibiru has a cloaking device on it. Okay? This is high dimensional, 12th dimensional technology. This is an omnipresent thing. This thing can appear in multiple places at once. This technology your human mind cannot grasp at all, no matter how you try. It's imperceivable. As the dimensions go higher and higher and higher, things begin to be less perceivable from the human consciousness because of chaos. So we're dealing with the time where the second sun comes, and we will be in a sun cycle where it will be light. You know, it will be in that. So they're harvesting DNA, and they're also taking off the gods off the earth. This is the return of the gods. This is when your DNA activates to a higher level, and you begin to take the next wave and step in human evolution. So this is why they're harvesting us, and this is why they all try to tap into voodoo or Ifa or Orishas. If you break down the etymology of Orisha, Ori, okay, meaning what? Head, right? What's the head of the celestial hierarchies, right? Orion, Ori. Okay? Sha, right? Where the Shaggies come from, which is the being that they took and made albino and hybridized to create themselves, right? Sha, that's Sirius. So when you're talking about this, you are talking about the imminence of your star families. They don't just stop at the Dogon. It goes to West Africa, to South Africa. They cover up a lot about South Africa. Inky's palaces in South Africa. There is millions of stone structures that vibrate in South Africa, all across Africa coast. And plus, Africa is the only place that's actually rooted into the earth. I talked about this before. The earth has chakras. It has gates into where you can access inner earth societies. You can also access energies, ley lines. California is a very, it's hard to grasp us Californians. And I'm starting to realize that a lot of us Californians, especially as practitioners, kind of spook people. Because it's a whole different type of energy here in California that if you're not from here, you won't understand, because we are an island. Metaphysically, California is set up as an island. Okay, the island of Ka or Kali. This is why when Columbus came to America, he thought they were what? Indians. He thought they were Indians, because what were the Indians in India doing? Worshiping the serpent. Worshipping the Naga. And what that represents is when you raise your energy to the highest level, you start to tap into all the different parts of your brain, and thus your hood enlightens. It expands. Your perception expands beyond this dimension. And this is why we have long heads and things like that. What happened is there was a war between Mu and Atlantis, or at Atla. Atla is what it's called. Abata'Allah. What? Abatola. See? Okay? And I've been waiting to get into this information. I guess we might as well just go there. Abatola. Okay? Abatola is also known as what? The Sky Father. The first god of earth, right? Okay, since we want to talk about serpents, nagas, and dragons. The first god of earth was not Inkai or Iku or Inki. It was the thing he brought here after the war. So there was war on Mars. Mars was the first Earth-like planet. Before this planet, while this planet was still being created, this planet was originally a prison for the dragon that they depict in Revelations, which depicts the fall of the Draco system. who was in Chertan and Leonide. This is why you get the depictions of the demiurge, which the demiurge is a role, but the first demiurge was Alalu, the dragon. Okay, this is why Vladimir Putin and they always talk about, oh yeah, I got that dragon energy or whatever like that, and everybody who is a high Illuminati member calls himself a dragon or a knight of the dragon. And I've already told you guys what this entails. This talks about Guinea, your ancestors, the gates to the serpents inside the earth. So, when they talk about America or Amuraka or whatever, Amerikai or whatever, Amu, okay, Amu is also one too. And if you look up in ancient Sumerian, or not ancient Sumerian, Akkadian, you'll find that they worship the god called, what is his name? Amura, or what was it? It's they're the worshippers of, they're called the Amorites. They worship Amur, or whatever, or Amir, or whatever. The same as depicted as why we have Tupac Amaru Shakur. See? So I'm gonna talk a little bit deeper about voodoo and the processes and things like that. Voodoo, as I've come to learn in other many systems, has to deal with what? The behind all the glitz and glams and all this stuff, it deals with spirit possession, allowing a spirit to jump inside you. As a reptilian, or as reptilians have that natural ability of astral projection, and they also are pretty much in between realities. How a reptilian operates is they mount you. In voodoo, where they call it when a Loa comes in and y'all do the ritual and y'all summon the spirit or whatever, what does it do? It mounts you. It mounts you by connecting to your first lower three chakras. Okay? Now we can split that off and go into hoodoo, and that's why that's called hoodoo and stuff is called root work. Because you're working the root chakra, which is the one that's closest to the earth. Which, when somebody's working roots, that's why you can feel it heavy, because we working with the first chakra, all right? Which has to deal with also the first, the below your sexual organs, the snake, where your energy comes from your earth star chakra and raises up. Think about it, like I said, the snake is lowest to the earth. It represents the magnetism of the earth, the free energy of the earth. So they try to demonize who you really are, who a lot of us are. They try to demonize that Kundalini energy, because when you begin to tap into that energy, you tap into your DNA, the gene X, as I call it. Once you tap into that, you begin to access telekinesis and a bunch of other things you guys have probably seen me do on my page. And this is why it's called the force, because when you tap into all these frequencies at once, when you tap into all these frequencies at once, when you tap into all 13 compartments, which 13 symbolizes what? You not only do you transition and awaken, and you transmute that energy of that Kundalini from a snake, you turn it into a dragon. Hopefully I'm not losing y'all. This science is deep. Because you turn that energy, and when it reaches its high and awakened state, when your third eye and your fourth eye begin to vibrate at such a level, you begin to crunch your nose up in like reality, and it's like a dragon. This is why they show you how to work the prana energy, and they call it the highest breathing is called dragon's breath. And what that represents is the transmutation of the carbon and oxygen as you breathe, and you compel your breathing outside of you and give back the prana energy and the life force energy of earth. Thus, you are able to transmute that, and that's what the smoke represents. See? So when they're depicting these things, they're depicting the war over the land of Earth, the territories. I want to talk about the movie, not the movie, the show, Dusk Till Dawn. It depicts all this shit. Watch on Netflix, y'all, Dusk Till Dawn. It shows you the reptilians, the kundalini, and they talk about how they have 9 lords over the earth that guard the 9 gates or whatever to inner earth. I've met inner earth humans and people before. They're really interesting. Not all of them are bad. A lot of them are actually just some genetics experiments. We got Montauk. They talk about all these other places, but California has entire secret societies underground. Trust me. They have entire secret societies underground. Why do you think they come here? Why do you think they go to Bohemian Grove? Because this is where the extraterrestrial energies meet and collide here. California is an island. And I was really pondering this and trying to figure out, because I know from my celestial memory and the many lifetimes I lived that this was an island. And I've told the story about how I found that out too. So y'all can check that out on one of my other videos or whatever. But this is an island. They keep showing you that in 2012 or whatever these movies that they show or whatever, they keep showing you that it will, in the end, and when we can't no longer stop whatever cataclysm from the earth shifting or whatever, or even our vibration raises, it causes chaos, that the earth will go, California will return back to an island. The San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault and all this stuff is man-made. This is made off of giant land masses of trash. Just build up from like 18th centuries and shit, and then they started building over this shit. California is the land of the giants. Why do you think we have San Francisco Giants? You know, we got the Warriors. This is all modeled after the Olmecs that lived here. And these were actually Amazonian women, to be honest. And they were freaking giants. When the Earth's vibration raises to a certain level, things get, what we think is reality starts to shift. Humans begin to interact with reality on a whole nother level. And then reality begins to be able to be like tangible, like you can just create it. Especially once, you know, anybody who's ever astral projected or been in like the 5th dimension, which is like the thought realm of immanence or whatever. If you want to think of something, you think of something. You got to watch your thoughts there, because everything you think just manifests. We are raising our vibration enough to where things are just manifesting. So when they talk about voodoo and all this stuff and the orishas and why this is becoming popular, and you see now they're performing rituals as celebrities. The celebrities are just the same thing. They're just geared. They're just a vessel, a muse, as they say. This is how you get music, a vessel, a muse, because they embody whatever, you know, energy or archetype or whatever they imbue themselves with spiritually or through spirit possession. Now, I'm not saying all spirit possession is wrong or anything like that. I have no bias toward that, but that's what it's for, so that they can perform those rituals. This is why they kidnap children and do all types of weird shit like MK Ultra and fragment the mind. That's a symbol of the Project Monarch, the butterfly, all that stuff. That's a whole nother topic. But they took that system from our ancestors and applied that to MK Ultra. See? Because check it. Hitler went into Africa. He went into all these places. He took this magic, or whatever, right? Magi, which comes from Kemet, which comes from Nuba. The Magi, you feel me? It's the same as the Jedi. Okay? They took this and they applied it to mind control. Because they seen how they go to Haiti, and they seen when they went to Africa and how they were able to turn people into zombies. If I go too deep here for y'all, I'm going to go a little deeper. To zombies. Because what can a reptilian do? If you look into a reptilian's eyes, they'll hypnotize you. This is the swaying of the energy. When people see me meditating or stuff like that, you'll see my energy sway. That's the kundalini. If you're wondering how to get your kundalini energy going, sway. That's the vibe. So they went there. And learned the occult secrets of African societies, right, along with slaughtering them and stuff like that, and took it and applied it to their science, their alchemy, and thus, there you go, you got mind control. This is how they learned all this shit. It's all occult. When you get the answers when you go into the occult. Because what is the occult? It's hidden in plain sight. You got, for everything on the earth, there is a disease, and everything on the earth, there is a cure. You can find all types of things on the earth, okay? I talked about the goddess of suicide or whatever. There's a plant that makes you like this. The Bakors in Haiti, they would make magic potions that would turn you into a zombie. So think about it. They show the eagle, right, grasping the snake, and they're fighting. That's them coming over and conquering us, but also it's a transmutation process of your kundalini also reaching another higher level, right? They took that into a war thing. But it's when you merge your lower self and your highest self, which is an avian, right? Because what did they say? They say that some dinosaurs evolved into what? Birds. Into avians. So that's another transmutation process in itself. But they took that and turned it into what it is now. But that's also the fight between the Atlas and the Moos. Or or what is it? Or Atlantis and Lemuria. But these are when the continents all aligned. When y'all watch Black Panther, which has to deal with Basset, the big black cat, that talks about the mother of both these constellations, Sirius, which is Cetus. They depict Cetus in ancient Sumerian too, as well as Ea holding a bird. But it's actually the underwater jaguar. It's actually Agasu, or I think Agwe or something like that. All these deities that you're tapping into are Ibadites. They're stars. They're also, planets and a bunch of other things. So what else are we going to talk about? I'm going to check out y'all comments. Yeah. Hey. Thank you. Yeah, some of the oldest things that they don't tell you about Nubia. They don't tell you about the Nilotic people. They don't want to tell you about none of this stuff. If you look at the oldest maps on this planet about California, it shows you that this place was an island. Now, did they Mandela affect it and create it to what thing? I think they just built something man-made over it, which is the San Andreas Fault is man-made. And they keep telling you that they're trying to invoke cataclysms themselves. They're like, fuck it, we're just going to invoke these cataclysms because when you look at the Georgia Guidestones, it tells you that they want so many people off the earth at a certain time because it's going to be harvest time. When you guys see the Anunnaki or whatever holding those pails, nobody really knows what the hell those are. Those are DNA thingies, guys. They're coming to harvest your DNA. Many great societies have been taken off the earth. Either you get taken off the earth or you go inside the earth. And you can tell it in earth human because they have huge eyes, like that. The portions on their face don't look like regular human portions. Like, you know what I mean? I'm high, so I can't really explain the portions. You know, like their facial structure. There you go. It looks like some parts of them are bigger. And then you got synthetic humans. Oh my gosh, these are huge. Synthetic humans are like implants in society. They're the ones that they send. They're like the heat seekers. They get the job done. There's quite a few of them on Facebook. Trust me, you can tell a synthetic human because they look so like perfect. It's like why do you look? And you can tell. You got to open your fourth eye. You don't just have a third eye. You have several energy centers on your head. Okay, you have your third eye. You got your temples, where your temple to what? Look to the side of your head. You split your head down the middle, right? You get the eye of Horus, right? The eye that they use at Illuminati or whatever. That's your pineal gland. And then your pineal gland breaks down into more compartments, which you have to access in order to become enlightened. But that's a whole nother complex science. So let's stick to this, right? Boom. To the back of your head, you have your fourth eye. This is what they show you in the Matrix. Why Neo, the one, because when these connect and create one tunnel or one part of the system or the pyramid. And when you unplug, when you tap into this, right, you begin to unplug from reality, and then you start to see the Matrix as it really is. That's your fourth eye. The sleeping Shiva. This is also this is connected to Sirius. I think this is connected to Procyon, and this is connected to Orion. Right? All these different compartments are the donations of the different celestial families that brought this information here in your DNA. And sometimes, and then there's the opposition, right, comes here and sees their certain DNA, so they can harvest it, so they can keep their extraterrestrial bodies going on and on and on. So with the Earth going into a new cycle where there will be lots of sunlight or lots of sun, which they've been trying to stop. Like, they've been really trying to stop that. They've been causing all types of like rain, and they're trying to offset how it's going. But because we also like 2020 is like next year, I think. Fucking Donald Trump's president. And he's a clone. Y'all see how many Donald Trumps there are? They got freaking robotic humans. They got all this shit, and they keep us distracted. All you gotta do is kill a celebrity. I'm sorry, I'm laughing, but that's kind of true. All they gotta do is kill a celebrity, and you're distracted for a good couple of minutes, and that's when they go do the most horrible shit, the most dangerous rituals, the most fucked up shit that you're not gonna be able to pay attention to because they control everything you see. They control your reality. They control your perception. They control mass consciousness. Yeah, I think we're having an awakening just by chance. Yeah, it's a synchronicity that we're actually at that time. But at the same time, they're manipulating the information you get online. That's why you gotta research shit. Research. It's all in the words. The words cast spells, right? The thing about Babel, all right, Babel, right, was the land where they cast spells. Okay? Follow me. I was there. And Babel is where you learned how to cast spells. Each place on the earth that was important, that had a major monolith or a major impact, was a school where they taught some form of sorcery or magic or something like that. So in Babel, you cast spells. So if you follow the etymology, of it, you begin to find the root of it. Okay, so Re, right? Re is what? A ray. What gives us a ray? Light, right? A ray, a Ra, a ray. That's the god of what in Egypt of light or sun. Ra, or ray. C, okay? C has to do with what? Cetus, okay? The constellation of what? Ma, okay? Or Baset, or Bas, right? Ba, meaning I believe the body, the carbon, okay? Re-see, okay? That means you have to re-see something that somebody already researched, because this is how reality works. It's people will be like, I have to research. You got to go re-see arc. Okay, so an arc, right? What's an arc? An arc is a light. We're archangels, beings who guard the arcs of architects of minds and architect of light, the arc, okay? Or archons. On, right, is seen as a celestial hierarchy and a realm of light. This is why when you say it's owned or om, that's the sound of creation. Om. So you have to go re-see an archon. I have to go read. So most of the time when you bring up something that most people can't Google or whatever, they'd be like, I got to go research on that. I got to go re-see an archon, because what controls the information in this reality? Archons. Archons control the information in this reality. What do? They drop it here by way of what? Light through the sun. They drop this information here through our sun, and you get it through what? The web. The quantum computer of the universe. If you look at the universe from a higher perspective, from 12th dimension to be exact, you see that it is a web. This is why the Illuminati talks about be careful of the pacts you make and the webs you weave. And their symbol is what? The gray alien, which is the owl. Okay? The owl. They depict Ishtar, right? I-star, which is when Venus was aligned to Sirius. They show you ancient Sumerian, right? Her standing there with what? Two owls with long legs. Those are gray aliens. Because what is in the constellation of Orion is the original species, which were long-legged, and actually they were owl-like beings, and this is called in the system of Beltiges or Betelgeuse and Belity. That's why they call Ishtar Lady Belity. And this is all coming off the top of the head, y'all. Belity. So the symbol of Bohemian Grove, which is what? In California. See how everything connects, right? Follow me. See how everything connects. Bohemian Grove is in California, where they have a big-ass picture of an owl. I mean, a big-ass statue of an owl. That's where all the world leaders in the world come here to do their rituals in what? In fucking the Redwoods, in Bay Area. They're the sea. This is where the first people from Kemet, right? Not Kemet, Nubia, Khufu, right? Which I find is kind of funny to similarly to relate to cow food, but those two don't really correlate. But the story is that Khufu took his what? His solar boat, which is depicted as what? Osiris and all of them going on his solar boat or whatever, and he came to the island of Ka to see the Lady Ka, and that was when the first people from there came here, because these were our ancestors when all the land was connected. Like I said, when you guys watch Black Panther, Wakanda. They're giving you the original name of it, but how they give it to us is Gondwana. Google it. If you can Google this right now, Google it. Gondwana. This is when all of the earth was one landmass, the land of the gods. America was connected right to Africa. Everything was connected all together. So when you research, you are re-seeing an archon. Because our technology has an astral realm. It's connected to an astral realm. You think technology doesn't have a space and time? If it exists, it has a space and time, and it has a placement, and therefore it exists. Just because this reality is an illusion doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means it's an illusion. It's lucid. Look, check the etymology. Elu. Google Elu as the god in Sumerian, right? And Lil. Elu. Sean. Elu sun. So if I'm dropping information into reality, therefore it processes itself, because all energy has to take what? Formation. Right? All energy takes formation, and thus it becomes what? Information. What is in the Kabbalistic teachings? In the Kabbalistic teachings, right, is the land of the lords. See, in the Bible it says you got gods and Lord gods. And then you got lords. If you look in the Bible, right, I think it's like in Jacob, it says, my Lord said to my Lord. It was like my Lord said to his Lord, or some shit like that. You're talking about the lords, the ends. So when certain particular higher beings fell, they became an end, a lord. Which connects what? Back to all the way to Amaru or Amaraka or America as the lords of the earth. Nine lords of the gates. You got the lords of the earth, and you got the lords of the command, or the lords of the sky. So it's talking about the fight of the two brothers over the land. So be careful with your research. When you're out there researching and Googling, a lot of this stuff can be broken down, but you got to learn how to use your fourth eye, that fragmentation, because reality is weaved in a pattern, much like a snake skin. You got to be able to see what is what. So when you research, you're just receiving an archon. So people who spend, maybe 40, 50, 60 years of their life researching something, instead of just searching, then they wonder why, later on in their life they find out that whatever they researched on, much like religion or whatever, becomes an illusion. It was never really what they really thought it was. But they hide this information. They hide the information about the dragon in the Vatican. They hide the information about what is really the Kaaba and these cubes on Earth. They hide all this information from you, or they let it out, like David Icke and them like that. Those are all plants and shit. David Icke is a freaking, that's an albino reptile. I'll tell you that from what I see. He's an albino reptile because he has like his hands always throwing up them symbols and shit. And you notice they speak the hidden language, the language of hand signs or hand seals. Maybe like this and shit. I don't do that shit, but they speak into your subconscious when they do that, which is you're in the mind. The underworld is your subconscious. The darkness is where your pineal gland begins to activate. So research. Archons control information. There's good archons and there's bad archons. So, what else? Anybody got any questions? I think that's about it. I think I went maybe a lot of deep there. Oh yeah, Avengers. Okay, Avengers is, that's the whole Sumerian science right there. That's the whole everything, because it's talking about the Me Stones and the Gauntlet, bro. Y'all can look this up right now. It's called the Hand of God constellation. I posted this when he had the Gauntlet or whatever. That's the Hand of God constellation. It's not even a constellation. It's a nebula. It's the Hand of God nebula. So when they talk about the Hand of God or whatever, or the Gauntlet, the Thanos, the Anos. I talked about this even before they put out the freaking movie. Like I had like not to toot my own horn or whatever, but I had like lots of videos on this stuff that y'all got to check out. But Thanos, that's a Greek god, Nick's son. So Thanos, right, the highest god in the celestial order is An, Os. So what it's talking about is when Thanos or An or On, because there's a difference between An and Anu. Okay, you're talking about Anshar, the foremost, right? The big black dog, Anpu. Okay, Saturn, and then you have Uranus. Yes, the pineal gland is activated in the underworld. You have to go inside your subconscious, tap into that energy, and then thus you begin to enlighten. Because in order to get into a state of enlightenment, you have to reach a state of endarkment. And not like endarkment like people, like humans think. Darkment as understanding, the encompassing that you are the light. That the light is within you, and you create the light. And that's what it is to be not just a god, but to be a primordial being. Is where you can take something from nothing and create a spark, a light, an eminence out of that chaos of change, a consistent wave and patterns. So that's what it means to go into the underworld and go inside your deep inside your subconscious, and then you find the light that is within you. That's the real dark night of the soul. That's when your soul, when the sun, goes away from, and you go into the night, and then you tap into the energy into there. Because think your mind, right, is Ori, is connected to Orion. It's connected to some of the first stars and the celestial things that go on into this reality. And you, from there, you can create anything. Yeah. Y'all can shoot some more questions, man. Yeah. And then some people be, just because you astral project don't mean you're really getting the whole thing, because you could be manipulated too. Not saying I'm saying for a lot of people that I speak with, that sometimes it doesn't really have there is no, it just be, some people just be creating some shit. But my science, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people be like, I can't find what you're talking about or whatever. You got to dig deep within yourself. But at the same time, I'm going to start building and showing y'all and giving y'all proof of a lot of the stuff that I'm saying. We have, like my bro Hashi, he on here right now. He's found freaking temples in America that look like they've been bombed. Like there's temples, all types of stuff. So, like, a lot of the information we're doing is getting that stuff structured right now to get this understanding, this we are Amaru, we are the America, Thousands of ships is above us. Yeah, that's true. There's thousands of ships above us, cloaked. Yes. Yes, they're waiting for us to invoke them to come down. They see that, bro. I gotta check out. Okay, there was a time where I actually was with a group of people, and I know we fucking opened up a portal, but they covered it up with SpaceX. Okay, because we drew these symbols on the ground. This thing fucking opened up, right? As we got done, we're going to like, hey, I bet you they gonna say that's SpaceX. 5 seconds later, they had a whole everything online in SpaceX. Oh, this is SpaceX. But if you look at the breakdown of all the different videos, they show you that was actually a spaceship. And SpaceX, right? X marks the spot, the hidden spot, right? X, Gene, X, all that shit. So they try to cover up a lot of that shit. Motherward tea is good. Yeah, they're above us. Y'all hear that ringing in your ear? That'd be them. And they just sitting there cloaked. Just waiting. just waiting. Right now, the America and all this shit, they're not just going. They're trying to create a one world government to stop the aliens from coming, but they're already here. They've already took that over. So there's a time where the aliens and the inner Earths that they made a pact with our governments and the world governments, wherever they start fighting. They start fighting. Yeah, they start fighting. They start going in. They keep you distracted. Why y'all think they gave you a celebrity as a president, bro? They're like, all right, bro, this shit is the Truman Show. It's the Truman Show. Yeah, they opening vortexes. They're open. People don't. Y'all gotta understand. No spaceships are going out of the Earth. They're opening portals, tapping into the energy of the Earth, opening portals through dimensions and time, and then walking through them motherfuckers. They're not just like, oh yeah, let's build a spaceship. And no, nothing leaves the Earth. Only souls get to really honestly leave the Earth. There's the Earth people. Humans have been banned from space travel. If y'all look at the Tower of Babel, where we cast spells, right? They show you why the fuck were humans scattered across the Earth and their languages was fucked up. It was because the humans were building spaceships to get the fuck off of here. They were like, hey, get us the fuck out of here. Like, no, fuck this. Fuck this shit. Let's go. We gotta get the fuck out of here. What's up there? Like, I see home. Really? Like, let's go back where we came from. Because humans weren't just created here. There was generations of humans created here. But we created humans everywhere. Like, dimensions, realms. Like, these are like cars to souls, really. That's why you get rode like in voodoo, like, you know, mounted, or they call it riding the horse. Oh yeah, they waiting to go to war with them. They ain't been at war. They just cover it up. They just cover it up. That's all they do. They just cover it up. Kill a celebrity. just kill a nigga. That's it. That's all you gotta do is kill one nigga. And everybody be like, oh, okay. And they over here fucking opening portals and shit. Walking through dimensions and shit. And then when somebody comes up to you and tells you about this shit, they're like, you're fucking crazy. You've got schizophrenia. Not knowing that's to skis. You feel me? That's also Serpent like, is when your brain activates all 13 compartments of your brain, and then you start to activate and you see beyond human perception. So they're like, all right, here's some pills. Go back to fucking sleep. And then next thing you know, we got a half a society or a whole generation of children doped up on and told they got ADHD and shit, and they fucking sleeping and shit and zombified, and they can't even fucking function because you doped them up with sleeping pills. Here, take some more fucking, what is it, blue pills or red pills or whatever. Here, just fucking take them. Just here, go back to sleep, nigga. You're too woke. You're too woke. That's why they say people with mental illnesses are always up all the time. Their energy be fluctuating, bruh. You're psychic. That's why you're psycho. Go back to sleep here. Just take all this Ritalin and shit and just dope up all your children, and they wonder why all our children now are coming out with like genetic disorders. And it's the next wave because of higher consciousness, but at the same time, they initiated it by giving us fucking, using us as lab rats. Just use us as lab rats. How long we've been going on? So make sure y'all all share this video. Any questions before I go? that it, guys? I don't want to overdraw y'all with too much knowledge. That was a lot. So I'm going to let y'all process all that. That was a major epic download, guys. So yeah, Rock Kapata, the artist formerly known as Inky or Inkai. And it's been a great time to kick some actual science. I haven't had a chance to actually really just go in a very long time. So I appreciate all those for watching. 9 minds, 9 to the path of completion, the 9 chambers within your subconscious. Oh, and 10 is completion, is total domination as well. So, all right, remember, in Babel is where they cast spells. So, peace. Oh, let's see if we can get the music back. What did I take? The Bible? All right. I'll give you a little bit of the Bible. The Bible is just a watered down book, a bunch of books. Like, you got the story from the Numeri list. Religion is religion. Right? Remember, in Babel is where we cast spells. So, religion. Lit, light, right? Okay, Jean is a region in the land that was conquered, where they took the knowledge and then they took it and they redid it, relight it or relit it, right? And then they gave it back to you as the bullshit that it is. It's like, hey, let me take this, take it like this, enslave you with it because, you know, it's really man in his mind, and there you go. They give you religion. But the Bible itself, from consciousness just perspective, it is a spell book. It's also telling the stories of the lords, the dragons. It's a lot of shit out of there that they taken out. But it's a heavy science to it, but it's really the book dedicated to Enki and Enlil and An and Anu and all them stuff like that. It's talking about the celestial maps. There's actual celestial maps in there. In the Bible, it says, can you bind the chains of Pleiades and loosen Orion's belt? Can you guide Arcturus? Can you guide the bear and her cubs? If you guys look at what California is depicted as, is what the bear, which is the Arcturians. The Arcturians were connected to what? Oxala. So it's the Bible as just a whole, as a consciousness. It's talking about the Anunnaki, what we call the Anunnaki, but the Anunnaki is like broken off into a bunch of shit. People have this whole misconception about the Anunnaki. The Wanakum, as they are really called, Wanakum. Those are the real thing, because you have a lot of imitators. It talks about that and all those different things. So the Bible is really just a very watered down version of just, you know, a bunch of just bullshit. But it talks about some real shit in Revelations. You got to understand how to use it with your fourth eye. Feel me? When you're reading the book, that book exists, but it exists at so many levels, you know, like when you don't even, half the stuff I don't even read books in the physical, to be honest. I started reading them now, but there's libraries in the astral realm, in space, and in different shit that you can go to and read books. Like, there's libraries in Libra. This is the origin of the library, the celestial libraries and stuff like that, where you can go into these spaces and read if you are allowed to. But it's best to know a gatekeeper. Yes, many are called, but very few are chosen. So, yeah, the Bible talks about a lot about the golden children, stuff like that, but it's how it's used. It's how you perceive it. I perceive it as a star map because, as in my ancient lifetimes, I was one of the beings that helped construct it when it wasn't taken the way it is now. It was constructed as a map, and a lot of it was taken from not just ancient Samaria, but Ethiopia and stuff like that. So the story of Jesus is not a real story. It was actually taken from several different beings. It actually depicts the story of Isa in Ethiopia. And this is what the Masons keep that they know that knowledge. They know the real story of Isa and the whale in Ethiopia and all that stuff, and how he had to try. Why it says in there he actually had to travel from Ethiopia to Kemet to Nubia which is not that far away. You can look Ethiopia. You can Google map it. Ethiopia, Egypt. Not fucking, what is it? Wherever the fuck they said he was in the Middle East or some shit like that. I really don't want to get too particular on it because then, people start talking deeper on about Jesus and shit like that. But it was from there to there, where he studied in the mystery schools how to become what? A magi, the essences, how to become a Jedi, how to raise his kundalini. And the Christ is the Karast. That's the soul. So when you raise your kundalini up, you become what? Enlightened. You get a Karas. That means that you get in that serpent language, Karas. Christ. The serpent language. If you really hear it and let it resonate, it's really serpent language. It's the Karas. That's when you get that glow. You feel me? They call it the golden glow. And if you watch the movie The Last Dragon, they showed you what? You got that glow. You feel you got that glow, and he starts moving his chi and shit, and then his fucking big ass glow and aura comes. Yeah, that's being a Christ. That means you become enlightened to the 13 states of consciousness. You become primordial. You can form reality into one. You can build pyramids with your mind. You can move buildings. You can take telekinesis. This is why they show, like, you know what I'm saying? You become a super uber human. Your brain begins to expand. Your consciousness gets to a whole nother level where you can see reality for what it is, and you can levitate shit. You can make the grass grow overnight. I've seen this shit. I've done a couple of these things. So, like, you can really tap into that. And what you really feel, for me, my experience is my brain starts to just, like, it hurts. Like, your brain is moving, and your nose is starting to like it's not like a nose, but it's like you feel the energy ripple, and it's intense. It's intense as fuck. That's why I don't really get online very much, because I be like going through some shit, like physically transforming into shit, like transforming in energy, because the energy around you is so dense. Your DNA starts to. It's a hard thing, or hard science to explain. But yeah, that's what being a Christ is, a Karas. When you awaken that, the inner being, the inner God. Nah, you're not opening your. That's like elementary perception, and these are people, or sheeple, to be honest. Because they don't know. That's because you fear when you go into these other realms, right? These beings test your fear. These beings show you your true self. Because when you're scared, that's when you truly see what you really are. Are you a warrior, or are you a weakling? That's nature. This is the thing about humans now. They don't understand nature. They don't understand that, yeah, the strong and the dominant survive, unfortunately. But that's nature. That's chaos. So humans right now not are only at war with extraterrestrials, they are at war with nature. They're at war with themselves. They're at war with nature. Nature in ancient Kemet is called Neter. So when you became a Jedi, you became one with Neter, which is all the elements. And that's how you form the Force. They stole this and put this into what? Star Wars, which is really the Ether Wars. The wars, and this is why they depict what? Darth Vader, right? Of his dark nature as a dark being. And they got a black man to do his voice, just like Bobby Hemmett said. Shout out to brother Bobby Hemmett. So when you step into these realms and we go into these places of consciousness, as you go inside yourself, right? Don't have fear. Fear is the first thing you need to lose. Fear is what you face every day when you go outside. Fear is what you face before you get into a car. This is how people who have higher consciousness become anxious, because they're much more 10 times aware of that fear. That fear it's there. But you got to learn how to banish things. You got to learn how to banish fear, because when you step into these planes, into these realms, these beings are not only testing you, they're testing themselves. And this is why you got to walk softly and carry a big stick, because it is dangerous when you expand your consciousness, but it's all a test of self. It's all a test of self. You conquer your fears, and that's the first thing you do, because these beings smell fear. These are low vibrational entities. When low vibrational entities begin to fester around you, that means you have a lot of fear. That means they can see through you, which means that your will is weakened, and that means you need to work on your sacral chakra. Your sacral chakra and your your sacral chakra, your seat of your will, the seat of Dharma, which is why they depict the karmic wheel as orange. So yeah, I've been to realms where I've seen creatures that most people don't even interact with. But you know what? I look them in my face, and I show them my mask. That's one thing I learned, and y'all got to check out that video. Show them your mask, because when you're dealing with like, all right, we can go a little bit of magic, and people who deal with like demons and stuff like that or whatever. These things are just beings and they're just showing you what their lower manifestation of themselves, which is what ego, which is a mask. We all wear a mask. So when I be posting, show them your mask, you know what I'm saying? The mask. And also it was used as a healing technique in ancient South America, where you would take one of the tribe members into the shaman's hut, and he would have a communion with the wood, the mask. And you would transfer your sadness or your energy into that mask. And that was the ancient form of healing. That was how you dealt with mental illness at that time. Because everything that was physical is spiritual. But once man began to fight his own nature, then he began to fight his own spirit. He began to fight his own soul. He began to divide himself up. And this is why your mind is fragmented. And once you become one with all compartments of your mind, you begin to awaken. You get to, it's like, whoa, what the fuck is that? Yeah, there's some that are really scary, but you gotta just face it, or don't go that far. Know your limits. That too. Not everybody is meant to try to reach, everybody has a destination. Not everybody is meant to go into a lot of this stuff. That's why I say, I didn't choose to go into this. This chose to go into me. I didn't choose none of this shit. It happens. It was a click in the DNA, and next thing you know, this is I am. So, but I'm here to teach y'all how to do this stuff, how to awaken these things. Because I've got the key. Kai's got the key. Always got the key. Who's got the key? Kai's got the key. So, that's why I offer and try to help people unlock these things and go teach you how to do these things. But right now, I really want to make sure I get this science down so y'all can kind of understand, and we can go deep into a lot of shit. So, yes. All right. So, peace, guys. Peace, gods and goddesses. We're going to get up out of here. It's been a nice, long science talk going in. That was basically some of the things that I'll be dealing with. So, peace, y'all.